Hello, how are you today? Do you want to dive into a book that might just surprise you? Whether it becomes your next favorite or one you might skip? Let's find out what readers are saying about it.
Alyssa Nieves, who has 233 likes, says, I am so sorry, but giving this 2 stars only for Xavier and a few quotes that were cute. -1 star for mentioning Rysand from Akatar multiple times. -1 star for being too TikTok. Why? Can we abolish mentioning current trends and slang in books? Please? -1 star for the cheating dad and the family drama. As someone who loves Abby Jimenez books, I am so disappointed in this one. There were a few cute moments, but I just didn't connect with this story like I did with her other books. The way all of my highly anticipated releases this year, with the exception of Onyx Storm, have been disappointing. Kyle Lowry, who has 846 likes, says, every time I finish a book by Abby I think it can never get better than this, and then it does. Say You'll Remember Me might be my new favorite by her. I laughed out loud and also sobbed. The characters and setting are so relatable. I hope everyone reads this one. I will recommend this book until the end of time. Niloufar Ozmekik, who has 255 likes, says, I am a devoted fangirl of Abby Jimenez books. She knows exactly how to tug at heartstrings and compose a unique melody that resonates deeply. She never sugarcoats difficult, triggering topics or handles them with kid gloves. Yet her tender and genuine approach always touches your heart, melting it while reminding you of the beautiful moments and cherished people in your life. Her writing is like a triple chocolate lava cake for my soul. Each layer brings an even greater rush of emotion and euphoria. This book is not just a heartfelt long-distance love story. It's also a deeply moving family drama centered around a tight-knit household navigating a tragic, life-altering situation. The family matriarch, Lisa, is battling early-onset dementia, and while the emotional weight of this struggle sometimes overshadows the romance, the story remains powerful and thought-provoking. It's the kind of book that feels like wrapping yourself in the softest blanket while sipping your favorite warm drink. Comforting, moving, and impossible to put down. Samantha, with her sharp sense of humor and internal conflict between logic and emotions, tries to resist falling for the grumpy, Greek god-shaped veterinarian, Xavier. He's a cinnamon roll of a man, arguably the best book boyfriend Jimenez has ever created, hiding behind a tough exterior shaped by years of trauma and abuse. I adored both characters, but Xavier, with his unwavering dependability and sweetness, stole my heart. He's the kind of dream guy every woman wishes for but rarely finds in real life. Samantha's family is just as compelling, from her strong single mom sister and her little boys to her artistic, straightforward brother, their sweet and caring grandmother, and their father, who's on the verge of burnout from trying to hold everything together. And, of course, there's Lisa, who faces one of the cruelest diseases, losing pieces of herself each day. Samantha and Xavier's paths cross in the most unexpected way, through a cat with no butthole in need of urgent surgery. Their first interaction is anything but a meet cute, as Xavier accidentally says the wrong thing, but he quickly realizes his mistake and makes it up to her with a date that turns into a night neither of them will ever forget, all set to the soundtrack of Come On Eileen. But just as sparks fly, reality crashes in. Samantha is moving to Los Angeles the next morning, and Xavier assumes that's the end of their connection until he realizes he can't let her go so easily. Samantha, bound by duty to help care for her mother, can't relocate, leaving Xavier to make the effort of flying 2,000 miles just to be with her. Can a long-distance relationship survive when Samantha is convinced it won't work? Is love worth the risk, even when life is already overwhelming? Will they find a way to make it against all odds? You'll have to read and find out. Overall, this might just be my favorite Abby Jimenez book yet. If I could give it 5 gazillion stars, I would. I wholeheartedly recommend grabbing a copy ASAP. Many thanks to NetGalley and Forever Grand Central Publishing for providing me with an ARC of one of the most anticipated books of the year in exchange for my honest thoughts. Follow me on medium.com to read my articles about books, movies, streaming series, astrology, Medium blog, Instagram, Facebook. Ali Goodwin, who has 656 likes, says 3.75 stars. I really enjoyed this book, although it's not my fav Abby Jimenez book. Full review coming in a YouTube video soon. A few thoughts for now. 1. I loved the 2 main characters. I especially loved that our male love interest is a man of actions. I love words of affirmation, but I particularly love acts of service, actions that show love in a book. Boyfriend. Point 2. I love that there's so much happening outside of the romance too. Lots of family issues, etc. And I surprisingly really enjoyed having lots of subplots outside of the romance. Point 3. I am not fully sure why, but the long distance setup just wasn't my favorite. I still enjoyed it, but like I said, I've just loved other Abby Jimenez conflicts more. I also felt a little meh on the ending. Clace, who has 1,953 likes, says 2.75. Abby Jimenez is one of those authors who can just sweep me away by just her writing style. But Say You'll Remember Me fell short in so many ways. I would be lying if I said that I didn't enjoy it. Because there were times and scenes that I enjoyed, but all of them were before the 50% mark. When I was actually invested in the story, rooting for the characters, and enjoying it, but as the story moved forward, the erratic decisions, the constant conflicts thrown, and the decisions made and supported in this book pissed the fuck out of me. I can praise Abby's writing to an extent because even that had some problems to some extent. But it was captivating. It did keep me hooked. But the constant TikTok language put me off so much on the Rysand mentions. At first, I didn't really mind that much. But there came a time when they got too much. Like way too much. And that bothered me so much. It's very annoying to read a book by an author you love. And you wait a whole agonizing year for their new book. And it ends up like this. Xavier. I liked Xavier quite a lot. He was a vet. He loved animal SSS. He was very thoughtful, caring, and basically the whole package, but the patheticness was taken up to another notch because while I found the willingness in him to do anything for Samantha cute at the start, it quickly changed into being embarrassing. Because I would not be willing to leave everything for someone I barely know. But besides that, I liked his grumpy nature in some of the scenes here in the book. And the interactions between the characters in them were very well done. Like the whole escape room scene was very cute. Samantha. I really tried to like her. But Abby just does not know how to write female characters. Because with the exception of Emma from JFTS, most of her FMCs always do something that is just so unbearable. And honestly, I just could not be invested in Samantha's character. I appreciated the struggles that were depicted. And also the storyline about her mother suffering from dementia also hit very hard on. I could relate to it because of my grandfather. But the way the whole situation was handled made me so mad. The romance, it was insta-lust. But honestly, I did not mind that part because the chemistry between them felt so natural and so good to read. Reading about their interactions and the scenes that they shared together were so fun to read. Honestly, those were my favorite parts of the book because their interactions just felt so easy. And I really thought the romance moving forward would be good. But the long distance, though realistic, made it so frustrating. It took away so much of the screen time off the romance. And like most of it was dedicated to Samantha struggling with her life and TBH. I don't mind that when there's a good balance or when I don't feel the romance missing. Honestly, This book was so messy because the insta-lust made their interactions by the first half feel like everything that could have happened, happened. But then so many conflicts were thrown that the fun romance just lost all its charm. The thing that pissed me off the most was the dad. The way he was cheating on the mom. And the way it was normalized by him and his children. And he wasn't even guilty. And the fact that when Tristan, the son, got mad, the sister stopped talking to him. And the whole grandma drama didn't really hit me because I was so disconnected from the book. And also the way the dad said that he wanted to put the mother in a nursing home because he couldn't take care of her alone. All of this was so frustrating to read because first of all, you're still married and seeing other women and fucking them is still cheating. And it is wrong. And the way Abby tried to normalize it was very disappointing. And to say that he could not take care of her alone while the children were there to help as well. And TBH. I saw my grandmother take care of my grandfather. And it got very, very hard for her sometimes to do that. But never once did she recommend something like putting him in a nursing home. I guess at the end of the day, it just matters how much you love your spouse to be willing to do so much for them. And the worst part was the mom never wanted to go to the nursing home. It was honestly what dropped my rating to a 2____, dropping everything to start my second most anticipated book of the year. I just know I'll love it. Aged like milk. _____. Read her grocery list at this point. Abby Jimenez is yet to disappoint me, so high hopes.